Welcome back, club members, to this week's episode of the Hollywood Hubbies Film Club. I'm Jeffrey.
And I'm Brandon. This is part 2 of our review of 1936 Showboat. So we open up back in our pretend act 2, right? We open back up in act 2 and it's during a storm, and we cut to a kitchen scene between Joe and Queenie. They're cleaning up the kitchen, and Joe is prepping food for the next day. And the song that we get here is "Eyes Still Suits Me." Um, I really do love these kitchen scenes. I think that they are pretty strong. This is the second time that we've been, or second or third time that we've been in this kitchen environment. Yeah, they're so good, and these two actors really just like they light up the screen for me.
I know, I really want to clip Hattie McDaniel's part of the song because I'm sure there's so many women that feel like that.
Yeah.
When they're like, what the hell are you doing all day? I'm the one that's doing everything. I'm doing the cooking, the cleaning, I'm running this. Like,
you definitely should clip this song.
I was like, I bet there's so many just people in general that will, that part will resonate with even now because, yeah, it was just a great part.
So Magnolia eventually has a baby. She has a daughter on the boat. When Gaylord, there's a quick little shot of Gaylord like gambling out and about. When he returns back to the ship after his gambling trip, he meets the baby for the first time, and the couple prepares to leave the boat to move to Chicago and live off of Gaylord's gambling winnings because, that sounds like a great idea.
Right? You're just always going to end up in the green, I'm sure.
Like the mom is like, what are you talking about? He's like, look at it, check out this money I have. I'm gonna, like, you're not gonna stop me from taking my wife and my daughter. And she's just kind of like, what? Like, I don't.
It's funny that they kind of play the mom character as like the nagging mom, but like everything she said so far has made sense.
Yes.
Like usually they try to have this trope of like the mother who, is constantly on your back and like won't let you live your life. But this mom's actually like, I don't want you to live this life because this guy's not right. This is not going to end up right. So it's not really coming off to me like this, like, really suffocating mother that like won't let Magnolia live and she has to break free and everyone's like, yay. To me, it's like the mom knows what she's talking about and everyone else is living in like La La Land. Like, this is going to work out great.
There were a couple like curmudgeon-y scenes that she's had, but nothing that's like, I mean, obviously like it was lame that she broke up the dance with her daughter and like didn't want her dancing with, that the class of people. She didn't want her,
Oh, but, no. I'm more talking about
but like, we're talking about the plot, like plot driven stuff.
I'm talking about like the love story aspect. Like, I don't like that she didn't want her dancing with like everyone in the kitchen. That part was annoying. I'm talking about when it comes to Mr. Gaylord that I'm like, she knows what she's talking about. I also, before we move on, want to talk about this baby scene because this is the probably 87th time that we've seen Irene Dunne in profile. And I was like, she is the queen of profile. Like, I know that there's, Mariah Carey has a certain side. Barbra Streisand has a certain side they like to be filmed at. Claudette Colbert only wanted to be filmed from a certain side. But, like, she said no side. She said only profile. Like, I don't even want to be at, like, a certain angle. Like, film me only profile. And you know what? She has a beautiful profile. So I don't know if this was the director or if this is every one of Irene Dunne's movies, but we have seen her in full profile about 60,000 times now. So
yeah, I wonder if it was her that coined it or this director that coined it.
Queen of the profile. So no, I have coined it.
Right?
They made it happen. But yeah, that again, I want to go back and watch more of her movies and see like is she in profile in all of her movies, or was this director like, you know what, you have a very beautiful profile and I want to highlight that in a lot of your scenes, because while she's laying in bed, they're not filming her from up top showing her down, they're filming her from the side, so you see her beautiful nose and her beautiful chin and all of this. And when she was doing one of her 80 love duets, it was from the profile. So
80 love duets.
Yeah, so they really loved her in profile, and I'm here for it because she had a very beautiful nose. It was nice and pointy, and it gave a very unique beauty.
You know what's interesting?
I don't know, were those was a longer, pointier nose like that? Was that the beauty standard? I don't want to say long and pointy like witch, but I mean she. After I said it, I was like, "Oh, that didn't sound like a compliment."
I'm not cutting any of this.
Right after I said it, I'm like, "Oh, that doesn't sound like a compliment." But she had a very long, slender nose, and it did look very beautiful. So
some of these jump in time, like step in time. Some of these,
oh my God,
some of these jump around here, and us kind of propelling the story forward by advancing by years. Sometimes it gives me Gone with the Wind, like how once the kid came along, don't you feel like it kind of like they had to pick up the years a bit?
Oh, for sure.
Am I tripping or no? You know that movie better than I do. But I feel like once the kid comes along in movies, you've got to kind of pick up the pace in regards to some jump in time.
I definitely know. I definitely know for the Gone with the Wind film, once they got to the later part of the film, they had so many plot points they had to go through that I think Scarlett O'Hara is in pain or crying or shocked about something in every scene, because they were like, okay, they kind of drew out the earlier scenes to be so long and dramatic that by the end they were like, okay, this movie's already 4.5 hours long. So they were like, boom, 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 boom. And they're like, baby born, baby dead, marriage over. And it's just Vivian Leigh just looking like shocked the entire time towards the end. So I definitely know what you're talking about with this movie.
It's like, we've got an infant, and then it's like, we're moving out. Here's letters back home, but the kid's going to school now. What? The kid's going to school now? You just had the kid.
They sped it up. And so I'm wondering, because this is so close to the original Broadway musical, I wonder if whoever wrote the book for the musical realized they had a lot of plot points they had to get through, so they kind of had to speed it up. And I wonder if the book flows more through an entire life. I wonder if that was possibly the book writer's error. Oh gosh, I was loving all these earlier scenes and I kind of fleshed them out a little too much. Now I've got to get through the rest of their life, so I got to be like,
yeah, that is possible. That's possible.
I think, well, judging by this, I wonder if that happens a lot, where someone is really like, I love this book, and they start to really detail and flesh out the beginning, that by the end someone's like, dude, you gotta hurry up because you're gonna make an 8-hour epic. You know what, this is why in the 70s, 80s, 90s books were made into miniseries, because that's a lot of stuff to go through. And I'm sure you ran into this a lot, where you're like, one book, one movie, there's just no time.
So you're right. There's a great scene between the captain and his wife when they're reading letters that Magnolia has been sending them. These two actors definitely work really, really well together. I mean, it's obviously no surprise that Charles is so great at this role, but I mean, they both really, really do a great job with this scene. And then we jump 10 years, and now Gaylord is experiencing a losing streak. And so he decides to leave Magnolia out of the sense of guilt for ruining her life because of all of his losses. So they've been living the high life, I've guessed, for about 10 years now on this lucky streak that he's been having. It's an awfully long lucky streak, by the way. And then he sends her a letter with his last $200. And yeah, she's basically forced to bring up her daughter on her own.
I gotta say, I really liked this scene. Overall, it was really well done, and how Ellie Mae and Frank show up at this apartment, and you know, Magnolia comes in and is trying to feign like she's still rich and has money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we just stay here when we're not at our house that we're building, blah blah blah. And the landlord comes in and is like, "Yeah, right. You're helping me out. Like I'm about to boot you out."
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the letter comes and she gets broken up with
Mm-hmm.
in front of them. So the facade has been broken,
Mm-hmm.
and they know that not only is she broke, she's now going to be raising her daughter alone
Mm-hmm.
because her man has left her with $200. So it was very interesting to see her trying to keep this facade going of her like living it up, and
Mm-hmm.
they basically watched her relationship crumble in
Ugh.
like 5 minutes. It was so sad.
Yeah, it is a really good scene though. You're right.
Hmm.
There's still this parallel plot happening, not as strong as we hope, because the Julie character is an interesting character from the very beginning. So it's
you know
unfortunate that it's not as strong of a parallel plot.
yeah, I agree. Like when I hear about Showboat, I feel like Julie is one of those characters that you hear a lot about. Like that's one of the ones that, to me at least, like that's one of the names that I remember as like one of the
That sticks out.
well-known characters. And so watching this movie and seeing like, okay, how long has it been since she's been on the
Yeah,
screen? Like she got fired, she left, and here we are towards the end of the movie, and now we're getting an update.
I know.
I was kind of like, whoa, like
You're like, oh, this is still part of the story. I know.
yeah, I just thought that I thought that her plot line was a bigger plot line in it than it really was in this movie.
In
And it's a
the film.
shame because it's a really interesting character, and I would have liked to see more of her struggle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And here this woman is, she's biracial, she's white passing, she's trying to make it, and the only way that she knows how is to pretend that she is a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's such a sad plot line, and she's doing what she has to do. I would have liked to see more of that, instead of we find out that she's biracial, she gets fired, and then boom, she's gone for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like missed opportunity all around.
It is probably a good hour until we see them again. We don't.
It felt like it.
Yeah, it does. It feels like it. So Julie as well had been abandoned by her husband, and she started drinking. And since she had been kicked from the showboat, we get a scene of Julie rehearsing a new song at the theater that she's working at. The song that Julie's singing is called Bill. They're basically just testing it out with the manager of the club. Now, this song, my thoughts on this song, very, very pretty. In fact, it reminds me a lot of Carousel. And yeah, I mean, really, really beautiful. I can hear Kelli O'Hara like crushing the song in the back of my
Yeah.
head.
No, I thought it was really good. I liked her performance of it. Like I think towards the end of the song, she's got like tears in her eyes. Like
Yeah, and,
she's
like,
really like breaking down
and
mid
everyone
song.
coming out from like the wings, and like even like the bartender stopping, like cleaning up the bar to like listen to the song. It's done really well, and it sounds beautiful. Julie overhears Magnolia auditioning for the same theater while she's in her dressing room
Getting an alcohol delivery.
That's right, getting an alcohol delivery. She overhears Julie singing "Can't Help Loving That Man," and during this moment, she has like an act of kindness and heroicness, and she is like, I'm gonna leave, because if I leave this job, it will force the manager here to hire Magnolia, and she probably needs this job a lot more than I do. She tells the stagehand that she's going to go because he's only ever going to need one lead singer. He's not going to pay for two singers in the show. And Magnolia won't get her shot if I'm here. So yeah, she informs the stagehand to go tell the boss that I quit, and if he doesn't hire Magnolia, that he's a fool.
I gotta say, watching it now, or just even if I was watching it back then, I don't know. I just thought that it was a very interesting plot line that Julie has been fired in the beginning. She is, she's got a lot going on behind the scenes that is working against her in that time. It like she's hiding the fact that she is biracial. She loses her job. All of this stuff happens, and here we are. We get her later plot line, and she's sacrificing her job for Magnolia to get the job because she says that she needs it more than her. And in my mind, I'm going, well, I mean, if we're talking about job opportunities, a woman like Magnolia, who is a beautiful white woman who isn't hiding anything, like she's just, in that time, those were the type of women that they were hiring.
Yeah.
And you, Julie, have had these struggles. I don't know if I would be the first one to be like, let me give my job away for this woman. I know that they're playing it as, I grew up with her, she's my friend, but it's like, you're in this theater, nobody knows this secret that you're hiding, you've got it good. The manager does not even want to give this job away to Magnolia because he likes you. He's willing to put up with your alcoholism. He knows that you have that you are drinking a lot, and there's that you're not always the most reliable, but I would just kind of turn my head and keep my job and say, Magnolia, she's gonna find another theater and shit's gonna be just fine for her. Because why would you want to give up a good thing when you already lost your job once? I don't know. To me, I just felt more for Julie in this scene. I was like, don't do it, girl. She'll be fine.
I honestly feel like this is probably one of the biggest problems with the story. In my opinion, there are not enough stakes involved to have had Julie make this decision. And if we would have seen Julie maybe being in contact with Magnolia, knowing that she was a single mom that was struggling, reading newspaper articles about Gaylord doing that, there's nothing involved and nothing pushing and motivating Julie to do this.
She's literally going off a hunch. She's going, oh, if she's here and she's auditioning, she probably needs it more than I do.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a rather thin excuse to run away and give your job away to her. But overall, I just feel like if I'm going off the struggles of these two characters, I'm rooting for Julie more than I'm rooting for Magnolia. Not because I don't care for the character. I do feel bad that this happened to Magnolia, that her husband left her with her daughter and that she's struggling. But I'm thinking of it in the times that we're in this musical, and it being so racially charged. I want Julie to have the job because she'll
have less opportunities.
She's had less opportunities, or she's already had opportunities taken away from her because of that. So I would have been just fine with the character of Julie being like, tough luck, you'll find it in the next theater, girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I
agree.
I'm telling you, to me, I was just like, no.
The plot doesn't make sense right here, in my opinion.
It's just a little,
for the character, it's not written the best way.
It's a little thin for me. I'm just
very much so.
Okay, that's great. She got something else. She's now had two jobs handed to her in the expense of Julie. She became a star because she needed to go on stage one night, and now again she becomes a huge star because she has to go on stage again because she lost her job.
Yeah.
Whether it was her choice or not, I'm just saying that like she's really getting these jobs handed to her. She's not having to work.
And when we say quickly, she very quickly becomes a success in Chicago. And it cuts to a New Year's Eve event after that, and we get Ellie and Frank performing a song called Goodbye My Lady Love. She dances they both dance so well too. I mean, once again, they're great on stage. Cute number. It's a little too short in my opinion because they are so talented. But yes, at this New Year's Eve party is where we do see Magnolia getting her big performance on stage. And she sings a song called After the Ball. This is where her father happens to be in the audience. And he gives her like a little pep in her tune, a little pep in her step when she sees him out there in the crowd. And so we do have two musical numbers like back to back. What are your thoughts on either one of those numbers?
I do agree with you that the first number, the dance number, could have been much longer because they are so talented, and I would have liked to see more of that. I love the scene for After the Ball. I thought it was such a sweet like father-daughter moment that she's up there and she's, high stakes. Like they were expecting someone else. You're basically the understudy and you're scared like they wanted the headliner and they're getting you, so you're already off on the wrong foot. And they're drinking. It's New Year's. They wanted Julie and now they got you. So it's your big moment to try to impress them, and it's not going well. And then I just loved seeing, a scared Magnolia with tears in her eyes looking down at her dad, and her dad's looking up at her, and it was such a subtle moment. Like even him, you would think he would want to talk louder to get to have her hear it, but it's almost like the actor chose to say it quieter, almost to kind of like calm her nerves when he tells her to smile. He says it so like calming, and I just was like, oh, this is so pretty. Like this is such a beautiful moment between them, and it was a beautiful moment, but it was also a funny scene with him. Like he's ready to like knock the guy out next to him. Who's like, we don't want her.
We want Julie.
Yeah, so he's ready to slug him. Then he's up on his feet and he's coaching his daughter and he's getting her out of her nerves. And then she comes into the audience and is like kind of doing crowd work and getting everyone really hyped up. And then he dances with her, and even on stage, doesn't she blow him a kiss?
Yeah, that's like sweetest thing. When she goes and dances with him, it's so sweet.
I know. It was a very, very sweet scene, and I loved it. It's probably one of my favorite moments in the movie.
I think it's strong because it does represent, I feel like it represents something more than just her singing the song. It's so much of like that built up, that anxiety that she's had and the struggle that she is having. And it's I agree with you 100%, babe. One of the strongest scenes in the film.
And I think that it's not just about nerves. Like I feel like he helped her, he kind of coached her, and it must have become one of her things to have these songs with a smile, because she became a star. And he even says it to her towards the end of the movie when she gets up to sing. And so I feel like it's like a full circle moment of he gave her her first chance on the showboat, and now here we are, and she's having another break, and he's there to kind of coach her, and she becomes a star.
Yeah, she's crushing it. Captain is managing her. We get a montage that we love. Jeffrey and I are suckers for the playbill scrapbook montages that get thrown at you in these black and white movies. Like we love it.
It reminded me of what's the movie with Bette Davis and
Old Acquaintance?
Yes, it reminded me of Old Acquaintance after Millie starts writing her like trash books, and then it's like doom like the music starts playing, and then you see like the rotating whatever they use to have like the books start to like pop up.
Yes.
And it was like the same feeling of like, okay, we're showing you that like Magnolia has been in 50 different plays and she's a huge star. And you know, it just reminded me of that scene in Old Acquaintance when you see all of the books popping up with all the different titles. But it was a rather quick, like you see her become a star, and then you see her um you know, they show a little bit in the beginning, don't they, of him talking to um the producer from London.
Oh yeah.
But then automatically, like within 30 seconds, they show her like Magnolia Ravenel is retiring.
Yes.
So it's like
you jump pretty quickly to basically her stepping back. I think it's a jump of about 20 years actually. You get that moment of her stepping back, getting ready for her retirement as her daughter Kim is now coming into her own and advancing into her own training in the entertainment business. So now we're not seeing only Magnolia's playbills, we're now seeing Kim's playbills and getting her own show eventually. I even made a funny comment that, like, you know, when you first start acting, your roles are like super small, and you know, they were making references to like Kim's like first roles that she was getting. One of them was like the maid or maid's assistant or something like that.
It was cool seeing the difference because you saw like little bitty writing, like playing the maid Kim Ravenel, and then in the next one when they opened up the playbill, it was that, you know, the other thing that I'm sure actors like to see when your name hasn't quite made it to above the title, but they've put you last and your name is a little bit bigger and it says introducing Kim Ravenel in the role of whatever. So you're starting to see that. And then by the end of it, it's her Broadway debut, or you know, it is her Broadway
the big
star
show,
debut.
Is her Broadway debut. We do they secretly, Gaylord is now working as a stage doorman of the theater that Kim is going to be starring in, and everybody calls him Pop, which is, you know, really funny because it really is.
It's kind of sad.
I know, it really is, you know, Kim's dad. Magnolia and Gaylord end up becoming reunited at the theater because they both, I mean, he's there working basically.
Magnolia recognizes him when they're late for the show, and they're late for the show.
They're running in. She's there with her parents. Magnolia's running in with her parents, and they're
getting rushed off to their
box.
Their box.
Yeah, their box balcony. And she recognizes Gaylord and invites him to sit in the box
because he wants to watch it, but you know, he sneaks backstage. He's not at the stage door. He wants to watch her on stage and gets fired. And then moments after getting fired is when Magnolia recognizes him and is like, no, you need to come in and watch this because this is your daughter too. I mean, it is very sweet because like after all is said and done, after all that's happened with this character, she's still like, you need to be part of this because this is your daughter and this is our moment that we can share together, which is very this is very big of her as a woman who just got who got left and has raised this girl on her own. Like, I don't know a lot of women who could put that aside and be like, come and share this moment. So I thought it was very big of her. It also, I mean, as sweet as it is, I feel like there's this running trope of men who can't ask for help in movies. Like, it's very like, not, I don't want to say machismo because he's not like a big like macho man, but it's almost like, I'm not going to change the way I am. It makes more sense for me, and it's more valiant, and it's more of like, it's more heroic of me to just leave the situation because I know I'm never going to change. Instead of saying, I have a problem, I have a gambling problem, I really put us in the hole, let's work on this, or maybe I need to go and like fix myself. It's like, I'm not going to fix myself. I'm going to be the hero of this movie because I stepped away. And it's like, what? No, I don't. And you know, it's the way that men are written back in the day, that this is like a type of heroism, like in A Star Is Born, I'm an alcoholic. I'm going to ruin this lady's life. Like, instead of putting that in his head and saying, I need to fix myself, he literally said, I need to take myself out of the situation. I need to unalive myself. And here we are with Gaylord, who's like, I am a gambler and I've gambled away all of our money. Oh, it's more heroic of me to abandon this woman and abandon my daughter because I'm not going to change who I am. I'm going to just take myself out of the situation. And I'm sorry, that to me is not a solution. Like, how about just get some help and don't gamble?
And the style of writing.
But it's like, but I'm making sense, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Like, I'm not reaching for the stars to say that these men characters should just not.
Yeah, why does abandonment equal being a hero?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either.
Like, that's the answer to it, instead of just going and like trying to get help for yourself.
Yeah.
But it is still, with all of that said and all of that rambling, I will say I did enjoy the scene. Like,
probably because Magnolia is able to, of course, be
she's the bigger person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because of her. Like, I did feel sad because I can still feel bad for Gaylord that he's missed out on all of this. Hopefully he has learned his lesson, that your plan did leave a big hole in your life, so you have been unhappy. So these people are doing just fine and they're thriving. So technically your plan did work, but at the same time, it probably wasn't. You could have handled it a little bit better.
It's interesting too that even Kim could have held on to a resentment, but she looks hopeful when she sees them all up in the box together, because she does give her encore to her mom, which is of course very sweet, and I'm sure every mom would be like, what are you doing? Like, this is your moment. But it's very sweet that she gives her encore to her mom, and and it is sweet that she sees her whole family up there together in the box together. So, but it's interesting that even with Kim, like, there's that moment of her seeing like there could be a future for all of us, like, together.
Do you think they're going to get back together?
Maybe. I think now at this point, it's just going to all be about Kim.
Yeah.
Not them, just about Kim. But who knows? Maybe maybe they're both managing Kim at this point. Captain and Magnolia, not Gaylord. But I don't know.
Yeah, don't put his name on anything, because he's just going to steal her money.
Yeah, or gamble it away.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Steal it and gamble it. I also have a question about the makeup choices in this. Like, why is Gaylord elderly?
It is interesting because if Kim is 20, let's say Kim's 20. Let's say that Gaylord, the oldest, let's just put him at 40, okay? Maybe 45. Yeah, why does he look like a grandpa?
Like, I think it's either supposed to be platinum, or because it's the 20s, or it's white. But like, they also have aged up Magnolia with like very bright hair. I'm guessing it's supposed to be white. Like,
yeah,
she's
I think
also
so.
older.
I think so.
But like, yeah, their child is still a newcomer and young. Like, and they show them both to be like these elderly people. And it's like, I understand that, like, okay, Magnolia is still glamorous. I just mean that they chose to age her up, not as much as Gaylord, but they aged them both up. But yeah, like, I don't think there was no need really to make him look like an old man.
Yeah, that was strange. He looked the same age as the captain.
Yeah, it really kind of threw me off a little bit. It was very jarring.
The encore song that we get with Magnolia singing up in the box is a like mixed reprise of You Are Love, and then it cuts to a scenic shot of Old Man River. It's like a chorus version of Old Man River. That's what brings us to the conclusion and finale of this movie.
Yay. Family reunited. All is well.
Don't lose their money.
Yeah. Don't gamble away your daughter's money.
Oh my gosh.
What was your favorite part of this movie?
Well, I definitely love that neither one of us had really seen this before. And it's cool that we don't talk about that before we actually see the film. Just want everyone to know that's listening. We don't actually discuss with each other if we've seen it or not. We wait until afterwards, and then we do our own research too about the picture once we've watched it. Sometimes a little bit before we watch it, but mostly after we watch
It's
it.
very rare that we even talk during the movie. Like every once in a while we'll say something and the other will go, "Oh yeah, mention that." But
Yeah,
we kind of
you're
keep
right.
our notes separate, and we do find that like we end up either having completely different
Views,
opinions and
yeah,
views, or like
we're
we
pretty.
both noted the same thing. So it is interesting.
I
But yes,
will.
we try to keep it mum.
I do think that that was part of the enjoyment about this film, that we didn't know it. But I find the plot, the backstory of it all, I do find it the strongest. It makes me it is my favorite thing about it, because when it ended, it makes me want to possibly go listen to an audiobook version of the original story.
Of the original book.
Correct, of the novel. Correct.
Same. No, I agree with you. Like,
Yeah, I find
because
the parallel. Go ahead. What were
no,
you
no,
gonna
no.
say?
I was gonna say you, without taking away from what you're saying, when you were giving me bits and pieces of what that original book was about, I was like, oh, like I want to go and listen to the original book because, again, a movie, a musical, there's only so much plot you can kind of take from that source
Mm-hmm.
material. So I want to go and read the original and hear more about these stories and kind of have them more fleshed out. But yes, sorry to.
No, I agree, because I think the whole idea of the parallel kind of threads that are going on between these characters, I find it interesting, and I wonder how much more do we get to follow the African American oppression that was going on at that time? How much more do we get of Joe and Queenie? Um, it's the type of underscore of the labor exploitation, let's call it, at that time, the endurance that they went through. I am more interested in that and want more of that. And I wonder how much the novel focuses on that and what was cut out of it because of the limitations of Hollywood at that time. So, knowing that the author was a Jewish American, how much did she push into it? That, and Hollywood was possibly like, we gotta limit this a bit. So I'm interested. You are way more of a bookworm than I am, so I have a feeling you will absolutely tackle an audiobook on this.
I mean, if there is one available, I haven't looked. Sometimes these older books are kind of harder to find audio.
Yeah, but yeah, I wish, my favorite thing was the plot. I do think that the storyline and the characters, all of the written words, like, I feel like it's that part is my favorite.
I agree. I liked a lot of the plot points. I am shocked watching this and seeing how little there are of certain characters, especially Julie. Like I feel like it's a missed opportunity. Her storyline is just so interesting to, to see, and I feel like they kind of glossed over it.
Yeah, I feel that probably pushes you into your least favorite overall thing, because then it's probably similar to mine, or no? That, like, people get their storylines get cut short, these characters.
No, agreed. That's my favorite thing is the plot, and my least favorite thing is the plot. And when I say that, I mean that I wish there were more of the smaller characters or the more marginalized characters, that like we could have got more of their struggle and what they were going through, because you like it's an eye opener for people that don't have those similar struggles, to so that you can show a little bit of like empathy for people and go like, oh my god, like I'll never know what it is to have that struggle, and I need to like, I want to hear more about it and learn about it. These are things that these are topics that like I wish they wouldn't have been as glossed over. I know it's a musical, and like musicals a lot of the time, especially in the 30s and 40s, are a little bit more, the songs are happy, the songs are romantic. So I know they were going for a lot of that, even though they kept some of these storylines, but I would love to read the book and actually hopefully get a more fleshed out character for these certain Black characters.
Yeah.
So
it's
okay,
interesting.
I'll get off my soapbox, but
No,
it's
but
just
no,
it's something that I feel, you know, needs to be said.
I couldn't agree with you more, babe. And honestly, I feel the same way about, like, it's kind of a double-edged sword with this whole, we love this plot, but but it's also our least favorite because we want more to this plot. And so
which I guess is a good thing, because these characters, it's not like we're saying we hate these characters and God, like, I hated the plot and I don't want any more of it. It makes you hungry to read more about them,
right,
or explore more about them, or see maybe different revivals, or hear about things that they may have expanded on. Because a lot of the time when you have these thinner characters in something earlier, if they want to revive it, I know it's been a while and the last one was in the 90s, but even from 1936 to 1993, they probably, or hopefully, could have expanded more on these characters to give them a little bit more life.
How do you feel about the legacy of it all and how Showboat impacted culture?
The first thing that popped in my head and kind of made me, again, kind of frustrated and sad, was the amount of white women that played Julia. That it's very, you didn't see a biracial or Black Julia until the 1970s.
Julie.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. See, that they messed me up with that. Julie Laverne, not Julie Baker. This character of Julie, you didn't see a biracial or Black actor play her until the 70s, when Cleo Lane played her in a revival. And then I mean, I don't want to assume, but I tried to do a little research on this 2016 version that happened on the West End. I could be wrong, and somebody please tell me if I'm wrong, because I tried to research it a little bit. I don't think that actress was biracial who played her either.
Interesting.
And I could be wrong. So that was kind of a bummer to me too, because I'm like, come on, guys. We're in a different era now. We could easily find an actress that could play this role.
Yeah.
So to see so many times, like, even, not to cut you off, but when they did the 1951 version, they had just 5 years earlier done a movie called Till the Clouds Roll By. Till the Clouds Roll By. That was a fictionalized biopic of Jerome Kern. And one of the sections, they had Lena Horne playing Julie. And then in 1951, they didn't offer her the role because they said that they were nervous that audiences would not feel comfortable with the mixed couple, with a white man and a Black woman on film together. So they gave the role to Ava Gardner.
That's so wild.
But it's like, you had her right in your grasp. You had Lena Horne. Wild. You had Lena Horne right there that could have played this role, and you were too scared. So it's like,
that's ridiculous.
It's nuts to read, like, how few Black actresses have gotten to play this role.
I know, and hopefully that is more of the legacy of this, is that it impacts more awareness in regards to being, so casting conscious.
I mean, they even had an 83 revival and a 93 revival, and they had the same actress play the character. And I'm wondering, did they want to give her a second chance because she was so great? I know the first revival only lasted a couple months, and the second revival was a big hit. But I'm like, part of me goes, did they want to give her another chance because she was such a big hit? Or was it that options were so limited, even in the 80s and 90s, that they were like, oh, just get her again because we know she can do it, which is also sad.
Yeah.
Like, great for her, but it's like, you know, was that the reason? I don't know. I'd have to read more about it, but
interesting. Very interesting. Well, we hope everyone enjoyed Showboat like we did. It definitely I would watch the 50s version with you.
I know the clips that I've seen of it, like alone, it's like a vibrant,
like aesthetically gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to watch it.
So it was very vibrant.
I guess we should get ready to spin the wheel for our next movie.
All right, let's do it.
Let me get this up. I always want to make sure before I click the button that I got rid of the the previous movie, so it doesn't like give us Showboat again. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Well,
you're going to be very excited, as you used to work for the company.
We already did Mary Poppins.
We are going to be reviewing 1991's Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my gosh, I forgot an animated movie was on this list.
You were like, in your mind, when I said 91, were you trying to think of like an actual live action movie?
What are you talking about? Like, huh? Oh my gosh. Okay. Beauty and the Beast, definitely. We know that well. Very well.
So but we will still watch it.
Yeah. Maybe yeah, okay. That's going to be interesting That's going to be an interesting one. I mean, not like it changes much because we still have to go through the plot, but like, yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Interesting how?
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Everyone go find Beauty and the Beast. Well, you know where to find it. It's on Disney Plus. So
yeah, if you don't have Disney Plus, pull out your old shell case VHS, find a VHS player.
But yeah, okay, Beauty and the Beast. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you all for listening. Please go out there and share our podcast. We're having a great time doing this. Leave comments, leave some feedback. Where can they find us, babe?
At Hollywood Hubbies. Instagram, TikTok, wherever podcasts are played. Right?
Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a great week, day, weekend.
Wednesday.
Bye.
This comes out on Wednesday.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.